Hey everyone, Mark here with Promevo TV, and since 2017 is the year of the convertible Chromebook, I got my hands on the Acer R13. Let's check it out. Before I dive into the review, I want to remind you that Promevo is a premier Google partner focusing solely on our customers' Google lives. We here at Promevo want to engage with as many people as possible to share all of our offerings from G Suite to Chrome devices to software solutions like our very own G Panel and G Scholar to help build and maintain your Google life needs. Okay, now let's check out this Acer. This is Acer's latest offering for us, and it's a pretty solid machine. You know the drill, it's spec sheet time. Get ready to pause if you want to read all of that. Alright, let's talk screens. The display is a 13.3-inch Full HD 1920 by 1080 IPS display. Now, last year, I had Acer's Chromebook 14 for work, and it had one of my favorite screens of last year. It appears that the display on this is pretty similar, although the R13 sports a glossy finish instead. Now, personally speaking, I really loved the matte look of the 14 for work's display, and was hoping that this would be a touchscreen with a matte finish. That way it would make it way harder for things like my fingerprints to show up all over the screen. Now, that's not a knock against Acer or anything like that, as it seems that all convertible Chromebooks sport the glossy finish, but just a thought. Regardless, the screen is really crisp and bright, displaying colors very vibrantly. Let's talk power. The Acer R13 runs on a MediaTek M8173C 2.10 GHz quad-core processor. I honestly wasn't familiar with MediaTek before this and had to look them up just for the review. It turns out that this is a processor designed to be mobile, and it uses a fanless design. It looks like some people were a little apprehensive online about the use of this processor, but I want to assure you all it actually runs quite smoothly. I would compare the processing performance of this device to be sort of similar to my Samsung Chromebook Plus, if not maybe just a slight step beneath. So that means it's got overall smooth performance, no real lag after opening a ton of tabs of Google Docs, Sheets, YouTube videos, and so on. Though I did notice after a few hours of heavy usage that it started dragging ever so slightly from time to time. Again, nothing really major, but just that usual like split-second hang time and so on. Now I should mention, I did put the device into the beta channel at some point to test this out on some Android apps from the Play Store as well, as currently the Play Store is available for the Acer R13, but solely through the beta channel. And I found the apps to run incredibly smoothly. I would likely attribute this to the design for mobile use processor. Let's talk battery life. They're quoting this device at 12 hours, and out of the box, mine was actually already quoting me over 12 hours. And then from there, I actually brought the brightness down to my typical brightness level of about, I'm usually hover right around 40 to 50%, depending obviously on the device's display itself. Immediately, and maybe I've just never paid attention to this before, so pardon my excitement, but it quickly put my estimate over 14 hours of battery life. I was kind of shocked to just see that down there. Now, with my personal settings and usage, I got almost 13 hours out of this, which I was really impressed by. Hands down, I think this is the strongest suit of the device. Let's talk input methods. And let me get the weirdness out of the way first. The volume rocker on the side of the device appears backwards, not visually speaking, but what I mean is if you push up or towards the back of the device, when in laptop mode, it decreases the volume instead of increasing it. That said, if you're in tablet mode, it seems to be oriented correctly, for lack of a better descriptive term. That took some getting used to, so I want to make sure I give everybody a heads up on that. The keyboard is nice. It's not backlit, but still has very responsive keys and good key travel. Definitely a solid part of the device without question. The trackpad is also fine, smooth, operates just in the way you would expect. It's definitely a trackpad. That said, I have had some funny comments recently about using trackpads with sweaty hands, and I think I'm just going to leave that up to you guys in the community to discover, but under normal usage, the trackpad does perform very well. It's responsive, it's large enough for my hands, it rejects my palms when typing, and also the screen itself, by the way, has a 10-point touchscreen. I've had no problem there either. I'm sorry I don't have more to say about this, but when things work well, there usually isn't much to say besides, hey, this works very well and exactly as intended. Let's talk form factor and design. This is a very good-looking device from Acer. It takes a lot of modern design cues, giving it attractive curved edges and a slick all-metal chassis. The hinge also works very well, providing enough resistance to hold its form in whatever form factor you choose, but not so much that you have to apply, like 100 pounds of pressure in order to close it or open it. That would be super annoying. Sure, the display might wobble just a little bit under direct applied pressure if you're using it as a touchscreen, sometimes most notably in the display mode. But that's normal of literally any touchscreen device. I think that we as a community should probably not complain about that anymore. It's a very happy medium they have to stride. So again, you either put too much pressure to open and close it, or there's not enough. And I think that this does a great job of finding that happy medium. Let's talk ports. We've got a USB Type-C port on the device for connection and charging. We've also got a standard USB 3.0 port, which is a huge plus for this device, as it seems like all of the competition has actually done away with the USB 3.0 port. I found that actually to be somewhat troublesome for the competition, but it's great news for Acer because now I can easily use things like my YubiKey from Yubico for security, or literally any other device that uses the previous standard of USB 3.0. Now, obviously, I am all for moving ahead and adopting new standards, but I think it's wise to remind manufacturers to not abruptly abandon ship until the previous standard is really on the way out. So I want to thank Acer for doing a great job here on that. You've made it very easy for me to not have to replace all of my peripheral devices. It probably goes without saying, but obviously I want to mention it. We've also got blazing hot Wi-Fi capabilities. We've got Bluetooth 4.0, and I'm happy to announce I had no troubles using Bluetooth speakers and input devices, as well as my Wi-Fi being swift, responsive, quick, no problems there. For additional storage, obviously I know I mentioned the USB ports on there so you can use an external hard drive, but there's also a micro SD slot ready to go. And if you're the type that likes an external display, there's also an HDMI port on there. Last but not least, charging time seems really fast so far, so that's also awesome. Overall, I think this device is a really solid entry. The price point is low, and that's great. It means you've got a little more financial wiggle room for your accessories, like if you want to get a case for it, or to cover your Google management license, for example. The build is really solid, and while the weight may deter some, as it is almost a full pound heavier than its competition, they might deter you from maybe using this as an immediate replacement for your tablet. But that said, I still find it's not so heavy that it's actually a problem when using it in tablet form factor mode. Again, I think that the device is really solid, and if you need a budget-minded convertible device with really insane battery life, this is a winner, and I can't recommend this to you enough. Okay, obviously we're a business, and since I love receiving paychecks, I have to remind you all, if you are a business, a place of education, a government facility, or a nonprofit organization, please let Promevo be your provider for all of your Google Life needs. Visit shop.promevo.com for more information. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments. As always, please like, share, and subscribe for more sweet videos like this one. Thanks so much as always, and I'll see you guys next time.